Hi, everyone, and welcome to our second episode of Impactful Chats with Sam and Erica of the Intuitive Strength Academy. We're so excited for you guys to be here, and today we are going to talk about joyful movement, but also how movement can be empowering and how it can help you build self-confidence and strength. So we're going to start off by kind of defining what joyful movement is. So essentially, joyful movement might look a little bit different for everyone, but it's moving out of making your body feel good or self-care. So it's moving in a way that feels empowering, but is also something that you enjoy. So typically in diet culture, we feel the need to have to exercise. We feel like we have to do this either because we've been told that it's good for us, which movement is, or we've been told that we have to do this to lose weight or to look a certain way or whatever that might be. But instead, joyful movement can be something that is empowering, and it comes from getting to do it. So kind of this idea of you don't have to do it, but you get to do it, and moving in a way that feels empowering. So some examples of joyful movement might include moving because it makes you feel more confident, which is what we're going to talk about. Moving because it boosts your mood. Moving because it makes you happy. Moving because you feel strong. I'm sure, Erica, you can think of some other reasons, but in general, it's just moving because that's what makes you feel good.
Yes, and it is never about moving because we want to burn off calories. It is never
Correct.
moving because we feel like we have to work out for 60 minutes because that's the thing. It is moving in a way that feels good for you, fits your schedule, and leaves you feeling less stressed, feeling good about yourself, and in a body neutral way.
Absolutely. And Erica, do you want to talk a little bit about body neutrality so we can kind of tie those two things in?
Yeah, so body neutrality is really just a belief that, knowing that you are more than your body. It is knowing that your worth or anything like that, it does not come from your appearance. And body neutrality in fitness just means that your goals and the way that you move do not correlate to your appearance. So we're not working out to change our appearance. We're not working out to change our weight, this, that, or the other thing. It is all about the feeling that you get when you move and celebrating really what your body can do and accentuating that.
Absolutely. And I think it's important to note that you can still have goals and move from a perspective of body neutrality and joyful movement. I know for myself and you too, we both love strength training. So our goals are going to be more directly related to the lifts that we might be working on. So for example, I love kettlebell swing. So my goal might be to swing a 50-pound or 70-pound kettlebell for X amount of reps. It's still a goal that is specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's realistic, and it's timely, but it's something related to the direct training that I'm doing and not my aesthetics. Yours probably has something to do with deadlifts.
I mean, any type of strength training for it, that's what makes me feel good. And I think this ties back right into where we started here. So
yep.
Having a goal in the gym does help boost self-confidence.
Yes.
Because taking those small steps every single time you enter the gym or, whatever your form of movement is also probably important to note that when we talk about movement, it does not have to be in the gym. So maybe for you, it's running that lights your soul on fire. Maybe it's dancing, maybe it's whatever it is, but setting a small goal in whatever realm of fitness you enjoy, it does build self-confidence. And the reason for that is because you are working towards something. And it really, truly, in any type of movement that you do, I think can become a meditative experience in general. And that right there boosts your self-confidence, your mood, all those things as well.
Absolutely. And it makes you become more in tune with your body. I know for me, like yoga especially is so meditative because it connects my body to my breath with my movement. So I grew up dancing. So I was very used to expressing myself through dance, through these movements. And I still love to do that. And that's definitely a joyful part of movement that I didn't even know I was doing when I was a kid because it was just so fun and it felt so good. I now can look back on it and be like, wow, that was so joyful and so meaningful to me. But now yoga has kind of done that for me because it's a flowing movement. So I'm moving in a very rhythmical way and I connect my breath to the movement, which in tune makes me more connected to my body or you more connected to your body, which, just like meditation, is going to make you feel greater self-confidence, but greater self-efficacy as well. And I think that self-efficacy you can really see in lifting, right? So if you know you can deadlift 50 pounds, let's say, you know that you can put your suitcase in that overhead compartment. I guess it's more of an overhead press, if you will. But, you know, same concept. What you can do in the gym can directly correlate to what you're doing outside. So you're really practicing for those hard moments outside the gym.
Absolutely. And sometimes in your training, and I'll say to the people that I train, even myself, sometimes your workouts are hard for the sake of being hard.
Yes.
Sometimes it is good just to have hard workouts that push you a little bit outside your comfort zone, or maybe way outside your comfort zone. Trying for a new PR in whichever way that feels good for you. Remember, a PR does not have to be a 1 rep max. There are many different ways to hit PR, but trying for that. And sometimes you're going to fail.
Absolutely.
And that's because sometimes we fail in life as well, but we get up and we keep trying again. But proving to ourselves, and that visual reminder, actually seeing yourself fail at something and then going back and trying it again, that's going to correlate over into everything else that you do. It is the mind-body connection. Your mind is learning that you can do hard things.
That's literally one of my probably most used lines when I'm teaching class, is that practice in the gym, you're just practicing for all the hard things that we face in life. And literally, it might just be telling yourself, I can do hard things. But it might also be showing yourself that you can do hard things, right? Absolutely. And so you build confidence in knowing that you can do it, and then knowing you can take on whatever comes your way because you've literally practiced it. And that's what I really think makes exercise and movement, especially when it's coming from those places, so empowering.
Absolutely. And I think sometimes movement can be empowering just because you've actually made the time to do it. You've taken a little bit of time for yourself. Now, remember that movement can be as simple as stretching. Stretching is still movement of the muscle. So even on your days that you're not going to do a big workout, or for anything, any reason, in your recovery day where you're just going to stretch, that is still movement. So you can still get some form of movement in every day, and it could just be 3 to 5 minutes. Absolutely. And that's still very valid. That still counts. That still works you towards a goal, whatever goal you're working towards. And that just taking that time for yourself and knowing you did is empowering as well.
100%. And I think it's important to note too that rest and recovery days are also forms of self-care, and I think also can be lumped into kind of joyful movement, because really our bodies need rest. There's so many benefits to recovery, right? Your muscles have to repair themselves. It allows your heart rate to come down. It allows your central nervous system to recover so that those next workouts you can take on. But it's also important to note that some days in life, it's stressful, right? We have a lot of things going on. We might not have time to work out. And so giving yourself that permission to take recovery and to take rest, which quite frankly, your body needs, it's so beneficial, and that can be a form of self-care too. And I think it can still fall into that joyful movement category.
I think it falls into both joyful movement and body neutrality. Absolutely. Yes. Because I think that it's very diet culture to go, especially in our workouts, and to always be giving 100% in our workouts. But the truth of the matter is that the days that you're giving 100%, you might really truly have a handful of those days in like a year. You know what I mean? The stars align and everything's going to feel wonderful, and you're going to hit whatever PR and blah, 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 and you're going to feel great. You're only going to have a handful of those days. They don't come very often. Most of those days are kind of like in the middle somewhere. And I think working out in a body neutral way really, really showed me that. And a lot of people that I train that as well. You actually stay consistent and get further in those middle days than you ever would trying to go hard in those really tough days all the time.
1000%. It's more about the journey, getting there in that process than just that goal. And I think just reminding yourself too of all the wonderful benefits that there is of exercise and movement, right? Whether it be mood, blood pressure, cholesterol, like bone density, especially for females, it's so important. But there's just so many great benefits to exercise and movement that there's so many other reasons to work out that it's okay. Also, if you don't really have a PR, you don't have your goal, and you're just moving to feel good. Those are all so reasonable, but 100% that like to hit a PR is so hard, and it doesn't have to be the only thing that you focus on. You can focus on moving for other reasons too.
Yeah, and chasing after any type of goal that is just focused on either an appearance goal or a specific strength goal time after time after time, you're not going to stay consistent. That is a recipe for burnout. And the
Yes,
whole purpose of movement is that it's supposed to be gentle movement. It's supposed to fit into your life and help you along the way. It is not supposed to be stressing you out. It is not supposed to break you down. It's supposed to be it's supposed to aid your health, not hurt it.
absolutely. I think to add to that, it's important to note that joyful movement can look different every single day. Um, and I think one thing that has really helped myself and some clients is knowing that how you work out is not your identity. So you can be a power lifter, but that's not who you are as a person. You can go to OTF or Orange Theory. You can also do Peloton. Neither of those are your identity. You can do yoga. You can be a runner. You can be a dancer. You can do boxing. You can do jump roping. Like they're all hobbies, if you will. They're things that you enjoy, but they're not your identity. They're not who you are. And I think sometimes we get so sucked into, well, I'm a runner, so I have to do this, or I'm a yogi, so I have to do this. And that's just quite simply not the case. It can look different every single day, and you can enjoy so many different forms of movement.
I love that you said that because for a long time I did put myself, I'd say like in a box of
Yes,
a certain style of training. I love to power lift. I do, but I don't necessarily call myself a power lifter because when I do that to myself, I put myself in that box, and I tend to do mostly all of those workouts, right? Which is great if truly if that's what you enjoy, whatever. But there's many components of fitness and many different ways to move. And when you don't put yourself in a box and label your movements, you're more likely to branch out and try many other things. And I think that that is one of the probably my most favorite thing about joyful movement is that every day I wake up and I'm like, what sounds good today? What sounds fun today? And you
yes.
actually truly begin to look forward to your movement.
Absolutely. And I think kind of just like we talk about with intuitive eating, listening to your hunger cues and your kind of cravings of what food sounds satisfying to you. It's kind of the same thing with turning internally for what movement sounds good to you. So maybe on a day where you're feeling more energized, okay, you might do that more high intensity exercise. Maybe on the days that you're feeling tired, right? These are great days to go for a walk, or you're stressed or what have you. But really turning inward and listening to your body and saying, what do I feel like doing today? And that's going to take practice. Just like all things, it takes time. But when you start to kind of allow yourself this permission to move in many different ways, you'll start to kind of either notice patterns or trends, or even just like be like, oh, you know what? I don't really like that, but I do really enjoy this.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're going to have to start wrapping it up now. So I want to leave everyone with just one thing. When you work out, Sam, how do you feel after your workouts? How does movement empower you?
Probably in the biggest way, making me feel strong and confident. Whether it's like literally just confident in my own skin, or just confident knowing I can do my own things, but it just makes me kind of feel like I got something done. I accomplished something for myself today, right? I took that time for me. I did something, and that makes me feel good knowing, okay, I can take on whatever else comes my way.
Absolutely. Yeah. And for me, it's really the same thing, strong and confident. And it makes me appreciate my body.
Yes,
That is the biggest thing. It helps me become more body neutral every time I move, and I can appreciate what my body does.
I love
So,
that so much.
yeah.
Well,
So
we'll
we are
wrap it
out of
up.
time.
If you guys have any questions, you want to continue this conversation, please join us in our Facebook group. It's the Intuitive Strength Academy and Community. You can find us on Facebook, or you can follow our page on Instagram at Intuitive Strength Academy with little underscores in between each word.
All right. See you guys next time.